Hi, welcome to Movista Movie Recap. Today I am here to present the most watched Hollywood science fiction movie named Orbiter 9. Spoiler ahead. Helena, a 20-year-old astronaut, has spent virtually her entire life aboard the Orbiter 9 spacecraft. She has been dispatched on a mission to the supposedly livable planet Celeste by scientists on Earth due to issues including population growth, climate change, and a hazardous atmosphere. Her estimated time to arrive on Earth is 20 more years. Helena's parents initially transported her to the spaceship as an infant, where they raised her. But, 3 years prior, a system flaw led the Orbiter 9's oxygen supply to rapidly dwindle. She needed enough air to get to the closest outpost, so her parents made the difficult choice to do the unimaginable. Helena has spent the last 3 years alone on the spacecraft in this manner. She continuously waters her vegetables, works out, monitors her health, and thinks back on her parents as part of her daily routine. She has even started having breathing problems at this point because the oxygen supply is virtually gone. The spaceship's alarm goes off one day, which scares Helena because it is the first time she has ever heard it. When she checks the control room right away, she discovers that a shuttle has joined her spaceship. It turns out that someone has finally responded to her distress call. When the door opens, an engineer called Alex walks in as Helena hurries to the entryway. Since she hasn't spoken to anyone in 3 years, she is both surprised and delighted to meet him. Helena can't help but stare at Alex as he introduces himself and starts to inspect the oxygen system, probably because she has never seen a man her age before. A short while later, as Alex is still working on the repairs, Helena extends an invitation to dinner, and he accepts. Helena keeps asking a lot of questions later throughout dinner, but Alex is aloof for some reason. He only states that he must complete his duties and go back to his station. Alex successfully fixes the oxygen system the following day and gets ready to go. He is sleeping that night when Helena enters his chamber quietly and topples him. Alex awakens while she is fixated on seeing and commands her to sit down. Yet Helena, who has lived alone her entire life, says she might not see anyone for another 20 years. She then slowly kisses each other and soon Helena becomes pregnant. The next morning, Alex packs everything he owns and leaves without even saying goodbye to Helena. He steps out of the spaceship, walks through a weird hallway, and then goes upstairs. Shockingly, he emerges from what gives off the impression of being a shelter, which is set in the forest. Here, we get to realize that Orbiter 9 isn't a spaceship all things considered, and the whole thing is being organized on the planet. In the following scene, Alex helps in his truck and drives through the forest, which gives off the impression of being a highly classified office. We can see that there are more shelters like Helena's and the whole situation is known as Project Orbiter. Soon after, Alex arrives at the entry, which is vigorously protected by the military workforce. That night, he heads to the headquarters and meets the task in charge, Hugo. Hugo takes out his tablet and shows measurements to Alex, which uncovers that there are 10 orbiters. He asserts that the advancement is great, and assuming everything continues at a similar speed, the genuine send-off to Celeste might occur in the following 20 years. Despite the uplifting news, Alex is vexed, as he stresses over the 10 guinea pigs that have been confined in the orbiters. Notwithstanding, Hugo lets him know that forfeiting 10 individuals to bring about some benefit for humankind is the proper thing to do. Around evening time, as Alex is going home, a news report expresses that it has been a long time since the Celeste spaceship fiasco. On that game-changing evening, the spaceship, which was conveying 207 group individuals, encountered an unexpected system failure soon after leaving the world's surface. This brought about a lethal accident that killed everybody ready. The head architect of the spaceship is uncovered to be, as a matter of fact, Alex himself. Since the episode, he has been covered with culpability and distress, as besides the fact that many people died, however humankind likewise experienced significant difficulty in their journey to Celeste. The next morning, Alex meets his therapist, Sylvia, who uses a highly futuristic screen to conduct her sessions. With the assistance of this screen, individuals on the two sides can't see each other, and, surprisingly, their unique voice is twisted. All they can see is an electronic wolf, which looks like their facial developments. Incapable to conceal his downturn any longer, Alex uncovers the particulars of his responsibility to Sylvia and makes sense of how he feels terrible for the 10 guinea pigs. As days cruise by, Alex begins getting increasingly distrustful. He routinely watches recordings and live feeds of Helena, suggesting that he can't shake her off of his brain. Then, at some point, he, at last, chooses to gamble with everything. He gets in his vehicle and heads to the office. In the interim inside the Orbiter 9, as Helena is going through her standard well-being exam, the caution begins booming by and by. This shocks Helena, as her spaceship is far away from any station. Before long, the entryway opens, and a nonchalantly dressed Alex rises out of it. He promptly illuminates to her that they are not in a spaceship and that they need to escape. However, Helena, who is frozen in dread, doesn't express a word. To make his statement, Alex takes out a secret camera, and a central processor is established inside Helena to follow her fundamental organs. He likewise tells her that he is doing this for her security. Helena is still in dismay, yet since she likes Alex, she consents to go with him. Before leaving, Alex hacks the camera feed and transfers a more established recording of Helena, so nobody thinks about their departure. Following this, the two leave Orbiter 9. At the point when Helena gets out of the dugout, she is quickly bewildered and experiences issues strolling, as she is encountering daylight and regular air interestingly. Alex then, at that point, conceals her inside his truck, and some way or another clears her through the entrance exam. Afterward, he comes by a slope and uncovers all that about the Orbiter program, and how it appeared. The program was intended to acclimate a human to space, so the forthcoming send-off to Celeste can go without a hitch. He likewise illuminates Helena that her folks are as yet alive, however when the last option communicates her craving to meet them, he declines. Turns out that her folks are likewise a piece of the task. Not long after, the two arrive at Alex's home, and Helena is astounded to see daily routine household equipment. She additionally encounters downpours interestingly and becomes pleased. The next day, Alex visits Sylvia and advises her regarding what he's finished. Stressed over her client's security, Sylvia shows her genuine self to Alex and vows to help him, assuming that things turn out badly. That evening, Alex takes Helena out and shows her around the city. He purchases various dinners for her, something which she has never known about since her separation. At the point when Helena discusses the ocean, he takes her to an aquarium and acquaints her with various fishes. The following morning, Alex drives Helena to his confidential office, where he has a lot of PCs set up. He makes sense of that it is the spot from where he watches out for the orbiters, and keeps tabs on their development. Focused on the break in protection, Helena asks Alex how he could be engaged with a particularly unfeeling demonstration, yet the last option answers that it's to improve mankind. With every one of the information and measurements acquired from the Orbiter project, they could immaculately send a genuine spaceship to Celeste before very long. In the following scene, Alex takes Helena to a club and acquaints her with his companions. One of them is Dr. Xiao, a notable doctor. He gets some information about her old neighborhood, yet before she can answer, Alex comes up with rationalization and redirects the point. He needs to stay quiet about Helena's personality at any expense. Sooner or later, the gathering discusses the ramifications of the Orbiter program and how it can help humankind over the long haul. Alex accepts that the advancement is great, yet Dr. Xiao declares that as opposed to finding another planet, individuals ought to zero in on making the Earth a superior spot. At some point, Alex sees a few rashes on Helena's back and takes her to his companion, Dr. Xiao. In the wake of analyzing Helena surfacely, Xiao uncovers that her skin is extremely sensitive, as though she has never been out in the sun. He then sends her for a careful exam and grills Alex about her actual character. Xiao suspects that she has something to do with the Orbiter program, and Alex finally tells each and everything. That night, while Alex is away, Helena goes into his room and starts going through his files and documents. In one file, she figures out something stunning. Incidentally, she isn't a posterity all things considered, however a clone. She then flips over certain pages and tracks down the location of her proxy guardians. Crushed by the disclosure, and the way that Alex misled her, she assembles her possessions and heads outside to track down her folks. Afterward, Alex gets back and becomes acquainted with that Helena has found reality concerning her hereditary qualities. He is disturbed, yet can never really see her. Somewhere else, Helena tracks down her folks and goes up against them for leaving her. The mother, who is by all accounts mindful, lets Helena know that even though she is a clone, she has the hereditary qualities of individuals from various hundreds of years, making her very sound. All at once, the dad approaches Helena from behind and sleeves her to the railing. He then, at that point, continues to contact Hugo. However, shockingly, the mother takes him out and assists Helena with getting away. A couple of hours after the fact, she gets together with Alex and castigates him for concealing reality from her. Without any words to guard him, Alex apologizes and embraces her. Nonetheless, the difficulty has recently started. Understanding that Hugo and his kin have wind of the break, Alex and Helena pack their possessions and take off. The following day, Hugo gets together with the main promoter of the orbiter undertaking, Catherine, and briefs what is going on. True to form, the manager is a long way from intrigued as one of her significant resources has gotten away. At the point when Hugo requests an answer, Catherine orders him to track down Helena and kill her. Somewhere else, Alex takes Helena to her prolonged period friend, Sylvia, and requests a spot to remain. Being the benevolent lady that she is, Sylvia happily acknowledges. However, before she can accompany them out, she hears a thump in her entryway. Outside, she tracks down Hugo and two equipped troopers keeping watch for Helena. Incidentally, he scrounged through Alex's loft and found Sylvia's business card there. The men then barge inside the spot and begin glancing around. Before long, they arrive at one of the treatment stalls, not understanding that the couple is on the opposite side. Hugo then, at that point, orders Sylvia to begin the screen, and when she does as such, Alex and Helena freeze in their place. They don't flicker, since, in such a case that they do as such, the wolf reenactment will likewise move and ruin their disguise. This happens for some time, and when Sylvia will not surrender the couple, one of the fighters shoots her dead. This threatens the couple on the opposite side, and they quickly take off from that point. Then, at that point, an extraordinary pursuit follows on the roofs, with the couple figuring out how to remain one stride in front of the miscreants. Notwithstanding, they are in the long run cornered when they run over an impasse. Without any choices left, Alex proposes to leap to another porch. He goes first, yet when it's Helena's move, she freezes in dread and is ultimately captured. Alex can simply look as Hugo and his men remove her. That evening, a troubled Alex heads to a similar dance club and approaches his companion, Xiao, who was likewise clearly thumped by Hugo and his men. Xiao communicates his anxiety for Alex and specifies that the test consequences of Helena are out. Sadly, she is ill-suited to remain in this climate and should return inside the Orbiter 9 right away. The disclosure pulverizes Alex, however, a thought strikes his brain. Meanwhile, Hugo approaches Catherine and inquires as to whether he can restore Helena to the Orbiter program. In any case, she rejects it, guaranteeing that it will set them back a truckload of cash. She then, at that point, orders him to polish Helena off right away, so the word doesn't get out somewhere else. Following the orders, Hugo begins setting up the euthanization cycle. However, before he can end everything, Alex arrives outside the building and proposes an arrangement to Hugo. Albeit the last option has proactively focused wholeheartedly on killing Helena, he calls Alex inside for their companionship. Burning through no time, Alex refers to Helena being pregnant with his youngster, a kid which could be of critical significance in their undertaking. He then, at that point, suggests that Helena be permitted back in the orbiter, alongside him, so the two of them can bring their youngster up in the climate. This would make the ideal space explorer, so following 20 years, she can lead the genuine spaceship to Celeste. Shockingly, Hugo enjoys the thought, and he allows the couple to make a beeline for the orbiter. In the last scene, 20 years have cruised by. Outside Orbiter 9, a now old Hugo trusts that a young lady will emerge from her dugout, probably Alex and Helena's little girl. The young lady grins at somebody behind her, and afterward investigates the sky. The film closes as the spaceship prepared to take off for Celeste is heard, showing that the examination was a triumph. If you need to watch more interesting recap, then subscribe to the channel and watch the other interesting movies recaps. Thank you for watching.